دي عملية التعريض للضوء. بعد كده هنا عملية التظهير اللي هي بتحول فيها الباتنت ايمج لصورة ظاهرة. بيتم باستخدام الزئبق. دي عملية أخيرة لغسل الأملاح الزائدة اللي ما تعرضتش للضوء. دي وصف للطريقة اللي فاتت اللي شفناها في الفيديو اللي بنحصل فيها على الصور المنفذة بطريقة تجيب الطريق. دي أمثلة، والصورة اللي فوق هي أول صورة قدر دجير يحصل عليها، ودي صورة للكاميرا اللي كانت تستخدم في هذا التكنيك. دي بعض نماذج للصور المنفذة بطريقة تجيب الطريق. بعد كده ظهرت طريقة تانية برضه تستخدم على معدن وهي التين تايب، لكنها يعني انتشارها كان محدود، أقل بكتير من طريقة تجيب الطريق انتشرت أكتر في الولايات المتحدة وبخاصة في فترة الحرب الأهلية. أغلب الصور المستخدم فيها طريقة التين تايب هي بتصور الحرب الأهلية الأمريكية. بعد كده دي طريقة تانية اللي هي الأمبرو تايب، واللي هي بتتنفذ على زجاج. هنا ده الزجاج اللي بيكون بيطبق عليه الصورة في النهاية. لازم يتم تنظيفه تماما عشان بعد كده تحط عليه الايمولشن او المادة اللي بتحتوي على الصورة الفوتوغرافية نفسها. وبعد كده السائل ده هو الويت كلوديوم اللي بيحوي بعد كده الفضة جواه عشان يعني نحصل فيها على الصورة. هنا بيتم إعداد الشريحة الزجاجية اللي هيتم بعد كده عمل عملية السنسيتايزيشن ليها عشان بعد كده يتم التعريض. تثبيت البليت الزجاج في الكاميرا عشان بعد كده يتم عمليه التعريض. بعد كده انتهت فتره التعريض وهيتم بعد كده اخراجه وعمل عمليه الديفولوينج او الاظهار. عمليه الاظهار. دي عملية الإظهار للصورة. بعد كده بيتم غسيل وتثبيت الصورة المتكونة على اللوح الزجاجي. هنا الصورة الأخيرة لازم عشان نقدر نشوفها بشكل واضح يكون وراها خلفية سوداء. دي نماذج من الصور المنفذة بنفس الطريقة دي في مصر. دي اللي منفذها زنجاجي اللي كنا قلنا عليه قبل كده في وسط المصورين اللي هم رعايا الدولة العثمانية. ودي الصورة بتوثق للقبائل البشرية اللي هي قبائل كانت بتعيش في مناطق النوبة. قبائل البشرية.
First, I just wanted to say thank you to Ibrahim for doing this with me. And thank you to CIC, Mia, Sylvia, and especially Heba Farid. I really appreciate the chance to present this material. I am going to be presenting from a slightly different perspective, which is that of someone who's working in collections and needs to identify images. So I'm interested in looking at, I'm going to talk about the structure of the photographic print, and then the difference between a printed out paper and a developed out paper, and then I'm going to get into 3 or 4 different kinds of paper-based prints that I come across most often when I'm doing research here. And these are processes that are actually very common everywhere for their time periods. So, but I think here, if you're working with a collection, you'll definitely come across at least some of these. Photography is not my specialty, neither is conservation, although I know something about both, and I'm still learning, especially about conservation, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say about the various topics that I'm going to talk about, and I'm also wanted to thank you for being here this evening. Let's see. So the structure of the photographic print materials, I think it's really important to understand this because it's the basis of everything, and it looks a bit technical at first, but it's really quite simple. And once you got this down, everything else becomes much clearer. So, I mean, it seems really stupid to mention this, but every, print processes and non-print processes, there's a sensitized layer and a sensitized side and a non-sensitized side, or you have an image side and a non-image side. And what you're looking at is kind of the final image material is the primary support is paper, glass, iron, etc. It can be many different things. So Ibrahim has spoken about some non-paper image supports. What you find in Egypt more often are paper-based prints, so the primary support tends to be paper. A varietal layer, and here I'll just go quickly to our image. So here you can see the support layer, that can be glass or paper or other things. The varietal layer is it's barium sulfate, mixed with gelatin and painted on the primary support, which is just to say it's a layer that's painted on. It's not always there. It's there sometimes, not always. It starts appearing around 1880, and what it does is it creates a very smooth, glossy surface over the primary support so that the image can be, it facilitates the application of the image. In some cases, it increases the smoothness and glossiness of the picture. So if you see a print that looks a bit glossy, sometimes it has, you might consider whether it has a varietal layer. Sometimes you can see the white under if the binder and the final image material, what we think of as the image in sort of a common term sense, is scraped away. Sometimes you see a bit of white under that. That's the varietal layer. The binder layer is, not every print has a binder layer. Some do, some don't. Sometimes I'll tell you what the binder is first. It can be albumin, collodion, gelatin is a very common one. And sometimes what the binder layer's function is it holds the final image material. So you can see here the binder, that's the layer itself, and the final image material is those dots that you see in there. So the final image material can be, for example, silver organic dyes, pigments, platinum, gold and iron salts, and other things. So they're floating or suspended in this binder layer, and then they are activated by various processes to create the image. Sometimes the final image material is just embedded in the surface, in the primary support, so directly onto the paper, and you don't have a binder or a varietal layer. I'll try and talk about those as I go on, so that you can understand how they relate to different processes. Another important distinction to make is the difference between printed out papers and developing out. So printed out papers, and this is an example that we did at the MEPI workshop. We actually made a printed out print. So here, what we did was we took a negative, which is the black and white image you see over there. We put it onto a sensitized paper, and then we put it out in the sun and let it sit there until it printed out. And the simplicity of it is kind of amazing, but